Okay, nice. Hi everyone, welcome to the Soulful Podcast. And today we have our special guest, Phoebe from Singapore.
Hello, everyone. My name is Phoebe, and I am born and raised in Singapore. I met Thee through a community circle, and we've connected very much ever since we first met. And this time round, I came to Saigon. So we met for the first time physically, and it just felt like it wasn't the first time at all. I think that's how soul connections work, where you just meet someone and they just feel so familiar right from the start. I think that's how our connection has been. So right now, I am a breathwork facilitator and I'm also an Akashic Records reader. Beyond that, I have also published a poetry and prose book called When Fear Fades Away. Uh, yeah, so I published this in 2023, so 2 years back, and it has been a journey of healing and remembering my true self for the past 3.5 years. Um, yeah, and recently I went for this campaign called Hair for Hope, where I shaved my head. My hair was like waist length, and then I shaved my head um, for a good cause. It's for the Children's Cancer Foundation, and but I've been wanting to shave my head for the past 7 years now. So it was both a personal reason and also an external motivation that led me to um, join this campaign this year. Yeah.
Right. And yesterday we just joined her breathwork session, and it was really powerful. I felt like we entered a state of deep relaxation and also divine vibe.
Connection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard to describe unless you really experience it.
Yeah.
So I feel like we, each of us, received our own message through the breathwork
Yeah.
session. And after that, I feel much lighter. Like I cried, some emotions get cleared up, and it helps somehow to make me feel happier, more joyful with Phoebe as a space holder for all of us. And I would love to experience it more. So I want her to come more to Saigon.
Yeah.
with,
I love
with
Saigon.
saying that,
So
can you tell us more about your connection with Saigon? How was it?
yeah. Um, I I would say the first like true connection happened in 2016. It was my final year of polytechnic, so it's like a pre-university where I was doing my diploma. So in my final year, we had this program where we went to three cities in Asia, Saigon being one of them, for 3 weeks each. So I was in Saigon for 3 weeks, and that's where I met my Vietnamese buddy called Ngay. And it was only in the Vietnam part where we had a homestay. So I was staying in Ngay's house and grew closer to her family. And I just experienced so much of Saigonese hospitality. And subsequently, after I graduated from university, I started my spiritual journey. And in 2022, I came back to Saigon again and revisited Ngay and her family. And ever since then, I come back every few months or every half a year to visit Ngay and her family and like more friends along the way. And now I have stayed to visit as well. So yeah, I would say Saigon really does has a piece of my heart. I feel very connected with Vietnamese culture. I am so intrigued by Vietnamese language, and I do want to learn Vietnamese as well. And yeah, I love the people. I love the way of life here. And yeah, I think there's something about it that keeps me wanting to come back out of all the other countries. I would I don't have as strong of a connection compared to with Hanoi. Like it's Saigon for some reason. So yeah.
Yeah. So when we met in the circle, this online circle, and I found out that oh she's living in KL, and I used to live there for like 3 years. So I don't know, like I had a feeling that we would get along well, and then it is online and offline as well.
Yeah.
I really like her vibrant energy, very cute, very kind all the time. Especially yesterday when we were in the breathwork
Yeah.
session, I feel like you're natural. It's like you're born to do that, and I feel like wow, she's so confident in what she's doing, and like she's grounded, and I can feel like I can trust in what you're doing. You know what you're doing. And actually, before the session, I went online and do some research about where you study the
Yeah.
breath work, see what it is, and I feel like wow, it's so expensive, and I have more trust on that. I feel like when you do something, you really be careful about what you do. Would you like to share about your breath work a little bit?
Yeah. So I did my breathwork training in Thailand, in this island called Koh Phangan. It was in 2023, so 2 years back. So I was in Koh Phangan for 1 month, full time, just in that island, every day doing the training itself. So it's a 200 hours course, and it was a very intense experience because breath work in itself is intense, and imagine doing it like every day or every other day. So it was like extra intense.
Did you cry a lot during
Yes,
the course?
yes, I did. Yeah, I think breathwork it brings up things to release. So so yeah, there was a lot of release, a lot of experiences, a lot of. I think the main thing that I learned from this course, if there's like one thing you ask me to choose one thing that I learned, it is the ability to hold space. Yeah, and I realized that the breathwork course gave me the confidence and the realization of how holding space is like each of us hold space differently, right? Because each of our energies are different, each of our presence are different. So you can experience different facilitators all doing similar things of breath work, but every space that you enter into will be different because the space holder is different. Yeah. So yeah, and I would say like what's funny was that when I first signed up for this course, I thought that I was going into a course where I was gonna learn about pranayama, which is also breath work, but pranayama is an ancient tool where we direct the breath to certain parts of our body for release to happen in certain parts. So like it's a very, I would say, more disciplined form of yoga, of breath work. But the breath work that I realized that I ended up taking a 200-hour course in is not pranayama, but it is called conscious connected breath work, where I'm literally guiding the breathers through a journey, through an experience, guided by music and holding the space. And through this conscious connected breath work, because there's a lot of air that is going into our body, it allows for the opportunity for certain things to rise up, certain blockages to be opened up. And because you are being held in a safe space, it's an opportunity for release to happen and for us to to release it, and so that there's more spaciousness for new things to come into our lives. um, yeah, so within like a 1 hour, 1.5, sometimes 2 hour session, it's like the big stuff can come up, and then you leave it behind and you go forward in your life with more clarity and more spaciousness. Yeah.
Right. It sounds mm, really, really cool, but you will not really know until you experience it.
Yeah.
And I myself practiced like yoga, pranayama, like kriya before, and I know it's also very good, but you have to do it every day.
Yeah.
Then you can see the difference, or you can tap into a state of divine connection. And with like breath work, I feel like what you said is
Like
like,
looking at the big rocks.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it helps you to sometimes to make a shortcut,
Yeah.
like to dig up things faster. But because it's so powerful, then you need to be really careful
Yeah.
with practicing it. So before I did some online breath work, and I didn't really know like it should be like the facilitator should be certified. So I feel like, oh, now thinking back about that, I feel like it's dangerous not
Yeah,
to
it
have
is.
like a space holder. And I just wanna like remind everyone, if you wanna try it, make sure that you know the person, and they have like they are certified to do this energy work, because it's important for your energy and also for yourself, your traumas. You don't wanna like stir it up and leave it there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do not recommend doing like this kind of conscious connected breathwork journeys online, because it is very important for it's important that it happens physically, because the facilitator can come in with energetic support to support you physically. But if you're online, like sometimes if there's certain things that comes up, the facilitator is not present with you and beside you to help you, and so it's really not recommended. But if you're doing pranayama, or you're doing like certain other yogas, online is fine. Yeah, I would say this kind of breathwork journey that you're going on, then you shouldn't. So it's important to know what you are getting yourself into. Yeah, and use your discernment to decide whether this person is someone that you feel safe to hold space for you and to help you through what you need to go through. Yeah, because ultimately it is a it's like we are all helping each other to grow. So even the facilitator is simply holding the space for you to experience what needs to be experienced. So yeah, use your
Okay.
discernment. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to ask you, like, looking back to your journey of many years, and now you feel like you are called to do courage coaching. Then maybe you can tell us a little bit about your journey, like a summary, and how it helps you to have the courage to go on this path at this moment.
So okay, so after I graduated from university, I went into my first job, which is in a tech startup. I was doing sales and customer success in the startup. Um, I went into it like this sales and customer success job not because I absolutely love it, but rather I like it more than the other things that was available. Like this is better than the other things, so I just kind of chose it. Um, and then subsequently, a few months in, I realized very early on, and I was lucky to realize it early on in my career, that this might not be what I want in my life. Like I couldn't really see myself doing it for a few years. Like even thinking about it was a dread. Like I can't imagine doing this job for long term, right? So I yeah, and then I think about 6 months in, I really started to have thoughts of, is this really how my life would be for the rest of my life? Like, is this how adulting is supposed to be like? Yeah, so I started to question a lot of things. And it reached a point where I just felt absolutely miserable. Not because the job is bad. I feel like the job conditions was pretty good and I was being paid well as well. But it's more personal. Like something within me just felt so empty, and I don't know what um, lies beyond that. Yeah, the only thing I felt was this doesn't feel right, but I don't know what feels right. Is that I know that this is not my path, but I don't know what is my path. Yeah, so in that period of time where I felt really miserable, I had a series of conversations, like a series of people and events came into my life where um, it felt like the universe was trying to point me towards a certain direction. So one of the conversation was a friend that I was catching up with after 6 months. So I met him 6 months before, and I caught up with him again. And then I realized that, wow, he has gone through all of these transformation over the past 6 months that I have not seen him. But then I looked at myself, and I was absolutely at the same place. Right? There was no change at all. And that really scared me because I knew that if I don't make a decision, then I would be at the same place for the next 6 years if I don't do something about it. If I just ignore it, like this would be the same state that I would be in for years. So my that friend, I felt like he could sense like something that was coming up, and at a point in time he was located in Cambodia. So he told me, if you need a first place to start, come to Cambodia. So that felt like a lifeline for me. It just felt like a lifeline that's being thrown, and I was like, I'm taking it. So so I like that. So I kind of like shortcutting a lot of things. I mean, there's a
How
lot
old were you at that time?
So that was in 2022. I was 25. Yeah, I was 25. So then the thing is, when he told me come to Cambodia, I it took me about 2 weeks to be in Cambodia. Yeah, because for some context is that I grew up in a very protected family. Like my mom is super overprotective, and I think that seeded a lot of people pleasing tendencies and like fear of authority. I was afraid of speaking up to and afraid of defying my mom's intention, like what she wants for me in my life and everything. So there was like this struggle between what I want, what I really want, and what I think other people want of me. Yeah, but at that period of time, I just realized that if I don't make a decision for my own life, then I will regret it. Yeah, so I think that scared me. I don't want to regret. So I decided to tell my mom I'm going to Cambodia for 2 months, and surprisingly she didn't reject me. Yeah, so I was very surprised.
Like, have you ever traveled abroad before?
Yes,
Alone?
alone no. Alone no, but usually with school,
Oh, okay.
my mom allows me to travel. But this time around is different, right? Because I'm going by myself. Like even though I have a friend there, yeah. But I managed to go, and the first thing that I did when I was in Cambodia was to go for this yoga and meditation retreat in Siem Reap. So I took 1 week leave from my sales and customer success job, and it was a digital detox policy. So I had, no contact no phone for that week. And that week in the yoga and meditation retreat, it really put so many things into perspective for me, and I felt like I could hear myself again. So if there's one word that I would use to describe how I felt from the retreat, was that I felt so liberated. Like I could hear myself again. That I remember myself again, like this childlikeness and this innocence that I've always had but forgotten. And I realized that, yeah, like how did I forget about this? Like with all that seriousness when it comes to adulting, to like life, I forgot my true nature. And so right after the retreat, I was plunged back into work. It was a remote job, so I was back into work, still in Siem Reap, but on the Zoom call. And I remember sitting in that Monday sales meeting, and I was like, what the heck am I doing here? Yeah, I looked at my face in the Zoom call, and I'm like, is this really me? Like, I couldn't even recognize myself. I just looked like, after 1 week of aliveness, I went back into the sales call and I looked like some zombie. And yeah, I think that stark contrast between the flow that I can be in and this reality that I chose for myself, it was so big that it was so obvious to me that this unknown path that is ahead of me is better than staying in this place where it does not align with my heart.
But when like you were in the meditation retreat, then do you have an idea that what you're gonna do next?
Not really. Yeah, I had no idea. All I knew, I had no idea, but I knew that I had to go on this journey, on this path, to figure out what I really want in my life. Because if you think about it, like right now we are in a shore, right? We are in a land that does not really truly align with who we are, and we desire a place that aligns more with our heart, right? So that desire is a sign that land exists. But in order to go from this land to that land you can't see yet, but like intuitively within your heart, that land exists. But you have to set sail like off this land to start to embark on the journey to even be able to find that land that your heart knows that it exists. So this journey requires a lot of trust, a lot of faith, and a lot of like courage in knowing that, okay, I might not know where I'm really headed to, but as long as I keep trusting in the compass of my heart and choose to leave this, to leave the old shores to embark on this journey of sailing in the seas in itself, that it comes with its own trials and challenges, but it is through these trials and challenges that strengthens our faith, that strengthens our character, our personality, and strengthens our direction and our clarity of our own life for us to embark on the journey to reach the shores of what feels aligned with us. Yeah.
So then after you come back to work, then how long after that you quit your job?
I quit like 1 week later. I tended 1 week later.
Okay.
And then like I served like I think 2 weeks of notice. Yeah. So I left. I fully left in I think May of 2022. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then after that,
And then so I remember I was in Vietnam when I finished the last day of my job, like when I finished my notice period. I was in Vietnam and I was in Nha Trang.
oh,
I was by the sea, and then I would go to the sea and like just contemplate about my life.
so after Cambodia, you went to Nha Trang.
After Cambodia, I went to Saigon.
Okay.
and then I took a trip with my friend to Daklak,
Uh-huh.
and then from Daklak I went to Nha Trang by myself. Yeah, so I was in Nha Trang for a few days, and it was a solo trip. My friends were worried about me. I think everyone was worried about me. Even like some random local was also worried about me. Like, how can you be alone by yourself?
Too young. Too young to be
But
alone.
I was like, I think it's fine. Yeah. So since then, it has been quite a journey. I was like, especially in that first year. So 2022, 2023, that 1 year, I was feeling a lot, and there was just so much emotions and like so many things to release, so many things to contemplate about, that I ended up like writing as a form of expression. Because it's like, if I don't have a channel to put it out, I think it will just explode inside of me. So writing just became a form for me to express, for me um, to transmute the emotions into a form of creation. So every time I write something, I would share it on my Instagram story. And I didn't want to get in the way of my own ego, because there's been too many times in the past where I write something and I feel like I need to share it, so I share it, and then I remove it in like 5 minutes or like 10 minutes. I just like delete it because I was afraid of how other people would judge me and everything.
I did it sometimes.
Yeah.
So I posted something like, oh no, 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 no.
Yeah, it's very real. Like,
Yeah.
it's like this fear of judgment. Like, how will people see how I'm feeling? How will they perceive me? It's very real, right? So, what changed was when I realized that I don't care about. Okay, what changed was when I decided that, okay, it doesn't matter how um, other people can say a lot of things, or they can think a lot of things that I cannot control, right? But if there is just one person that sees what I write and feels something, or it changes their perspective about something, or just like respond to it, if one person feels it, then it is worth it. Yeah. So that's when like that helped me to release a lot of fear that I had in my mind, and to just have the courage to share it, regardless of what other people think. Because we are all existing behind the screens, right? And oftentimes, like it feels very scary that a lot of people might be seeing and like judging.
So how do people respond to your writing at that time?
Mm, I would say, so this perspective that I've had, I realize it's a lot more for myself than it is for others. Um, because ultimately, whatever that we do in our lives is simply for us to experiment with ourselves, right? It's for us to understand ourselves in a deeper level. Even like sharing is also a way for us to put ourselves out there, to for us to see ourselves in a different light. Yeah. So it actually didn't matter how other people saw what I wrote. Of course, some of them have better response, some of them maybe not so much, or some of them like people see, they feel something and I never ever knew, right? But that's not important.
Like how did you overcome the fear of judgment?
Mm, how I overcame the fear of judgment.
Is that just because one thought that, okay, if it's just one person feel or respond to it, then it's worth it? But is it really the thing that keeps you going? Or is there anything deeper than that?
That's a good question. Um, so when I felt the need to remove my post because I was afraid of how other people thought of me, I think the image that I got in my mind was like how I'm posting one thing, but it feels like there is so many people that could have a negative perception, or like just perceptions that I'm not able to control, right? It comes like the root of it comes from a place of wanting to control. Right? So I'm trying to like I'm just existing here, but like um, posting it is not the point, right? That I can post it. But right now, what was giving me anxiety was the was me trying to control the perception of other people, wanting them to see me in a positive light. But it's something that I cannot control.
I think I'm like that most of the time when I post something, and I was just hoping someone will comment on my video or that would respond positively. But if they do nothing, I feel like, oh, this is a bad content. Or if they just do nothing, I'm like, maybe they don't like my content. So it's just me hoping that it would turn out to be something big, or and then if I didn't get that result, I would feel like demotivated.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a very interesting observation, because when you realize that, what would when you realize that the anxiety comes from the need of wanting to control how other people sees you or sees us, then how to manage this fear of judgment is when you realize that this very thing that you create is not for them. It is for you. Right? Because if you turn it in and you look at it like, hey, I'm creating this just as a form of expression for
Yeah.
myself.
Right.
I'm creating this because I have something to share and that I want to put out into the world, regardless of who sees it.
Yeah.
Right? I'm creating this because it gives me joy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm creating this because I just want to transmute my emotions for me to like process it while I speak.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Correct.
so in the process of creation, you are healing,
Yeah. True. True.
right? So that is what you should be anchoring yourself into.
Yeah.
And you are doing all of these creations for yourself, regardless of how other people see it.
Yes.
If other people sees it and they feel something, if they resonate, good for them. But it's a bonus, right? It's not a necessity. It's just a bonus. But you have already achieved what you wanted to achieve because you were doing it for yourself.
Right.
Like you are proud of yourself for creating it.
Good point. I think I really like what you just said because it resonates to me so much. Is that recently I got into songwriting, and I feel like it's so healing for
Yes.
me because I get to like express myself in a form of music, songs, arts, and sometimes it feels deliberated when I can put it out, not keeping it to myself all the time. Some people feel like, oh, you repeat your songs, your melody, and it really like make me feel like, oh, maybe it's not a good song. But when you say like, oh, actually we created for ourselves, then we should really care about how we feel.
Yes.
And if they resonate, it's good. If not, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to really remind ourselves all the time that, oh, this is what we are doing for ourselves first.
Yes. So if you think about it, it is what makes us feel anxious is when we are looking at the world from outside in. You know, if we are looking at the world from like, oh, how does other people see me? Then, oh, that's how I should be feeling inside. That's how you get anxious, right? Because you are not able to control
Yeah.
how outside responds
Yeah.
to whatever thing, like whether it's you, whether it's something else, you cannot control because everyone has their own free will to be who they are. But when you look at the world from inside out, where you are like, yes, this is this creation that I'm doing, this thing that I stand for, I'm doing it for me, I'm doing it and I feel proud of myself, and then you share it with the world, then you are sharing from this space of groundedness, you're sharing from this space of confidence, and you're sharing from this space of like anchoredness, where you are empowered. So when other people receive it, they feel it as well. So energetically, people can feel it. They might not be able to describe, but they're like, yeah, they're attracted to it because you come in a form of like of this energy that inspires other people as well. So that's how you attract your tribe, when you are fully yourself, and then you go from inside out. Yeah, because not everyone will love you, right? That's the truth. And you don't want everyone to love you because you might attract the wrong kind of people, right? What you need is to attract the right people,
Right.
and it doesn't need to be many, right? If you can have this group of very strong quality connection,
Yeah.
it's better than like hundreds of misaligned connections that gives you anxiety.
But sometimes when we are going on this path, sometimes it feels lonely because like not many people around us do the same things, especially like society, uh, and our family members are still like living the life that they have been living as other standards. So do you feel uh, pressured sometimes when, I don't know, if how about your family, that do they like push you to do different things, or how do you deal with that?
Especially at the start of this journey, um, of course, like sometimes in a family there's like a black sheep, so like the one who stands out,
Yeah.
and just walks like a completely different path. So I'm definitely the one. And at the start, they didn't understand what this is, why I'm doing this, like what is this for. And as parents, they see the responsibility to, um, like, to them, their success of being a parent, like what the success of being a parent is ensuring that their child has a good path, right? Whatever that means to them. So not just a good path, but a stable, a secure. You can see how the future looks like. Like if their child is going down that path, then they feel secure as well. So, especially at the start, I left my job and then I went on this completely uncertain path that I have no idea how long this will last or like what I'm gonna do, like nothing. They would ask me, so when are you going to settle? When are you going to find a job? Like how? There's a lot of these kind of course, logical questions that are also important. But at the point in time, it's not my priority to answer them because remember when I started the path, I knew that I had to go on this journey to uncover what my path is. Like I know that I will get there. Like I know that there is this like path of alignment that also gives me abundance. I know that it's there. But my journey requires me to let go so that life can happen to me, for me to reach, for me to uncover and for me to have clarity. I need time. And I don't have the answers. So I told myself that I didn't want to lie to my parents because growing up in a very protected family with protective parents. Those of you who have it will know that white lies are very, very common. Like I want to go out with my friends, but my mom doesn't like me to go out with friends, so I just say that I'm in school, but I go out with my friends. This kind of thing. Like I always do that. Yeah. So I didn't want to do that. So I told my parents that I don't know. I just said that I don't know. I don't have the answers, but I need time. And when I know, I will tell you. Yeah. So because that's true. That's honest. Like honestly, this is how I was feeling. I really don't have the answers. If I try and force some answers out, to you, and I have to cover up with other lies if it doesn't happen, or like I will be very anxious on my path because, yeah, things like that. So I would say honesty is the best policy when it comes to this, in my humble opinion. um, so I think gradually they started to understand that I need time. And for me, I knew that my 20s is a journey of experimentation and exploration. So I don't force myself to need to know the answers. I give myself the grace and the space to, for me to like fumble, stumble, make mistakes, for me to like get on this path and then get off it and then get on it again, and like, yeah, and I don't judge myself for it because I know that this is very much part of the journey and I need to be my own best friend. So, yeah, I would say it's a journey. I think my parents, especially my mom, I could really see that she grew a lot from these past couple of years, having a daughter like me. Yeah, but I can really see that she's trying to let go, and from that space, she also grew a lot as a person. Who she is right now and who she was 3 years ago is just completely different, and I wouldn't even have imagined that my life right now would have been possible, because it felt impossible when I was younger, when with the kind of parents that I experienced. Yeah.
I don't know what to ask.
Yeah.
Should we talk about your book a little bit?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, because you were talking about
Yeah.
started writing to express yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So this book called When Fear Fades Away, it is a compilation of that 1 year of my healing journey. Um, in this 1 year, I wrote a lot, and it was just as a form of expression. I didn't think about publishing it into a book or whatnot. I just wrote, and I felt that I needed to share. Like every time I write, I would share, write and share, write and share. So like pretty much everything is on my Instagram story, um, and it got to a point in 2023. There was a friend. He was a new friend at a point in time, and I met him through this organization called ISAC. He was applying for a position that I was holding a few years ago, and they needed to speak to alumni of that role. So that's how we connected, and I met him in person, and I just spoke to him for like 3 hours straight until like my throat was dry, but I felt so much passion. I don't know, like there's something, for those of you who knows Isaac, who are in Isaac, like I don't know how we had the energy at a point in time, like so much energy for this organization. But yeah, so when I was back and like speaking to him, I just felt so much of that energy back again, and it reminded me of like my core, like what I really believe and stand for. And then this friend, he told me towards the end of this chat, he was like, Phoebe, you should share your voice. And I thought about it, like I thought about this, it felt like an invitation, right? I thought about it and I was thinking, what does this mean? Right? What does this mean for me? Should I write a book? Should I write a book about my journey? But I didn't feel like writing a book about my journey because it's very much personal, and oftentimes like I don't really remember what happened, right? Because I was living so much in the moment, and so many little things, so many little synchronicities, I can't remember all of them to put it together in a story. And then I realized that I have everything that I need. That I've been writing for the past year, and it was sufficient content to put it together into a book. And another thing that clicked was when I was in this journey, I very clearly observed that there were stages that I was going through. So it started off, that first couple of months where I felt very miserable and wanted to like find a way out. Every day, like at home in Singapore, I would be crying on the toilet floor, and there was just this desire to want to break free. And then I went on this another chapter, like that felt like a 3 months period, and then the next 3 months was about releasing and healing. So I had to let go of a lot of decisions that I made um, when I was in my old self, like the decisions that I made then that I can no longer carry forward with me as I move to my new self. So I had to let go of a lot of things, including the job, including past relationships, including bringing up conversation with my family and like stuff like that. And then it went into the next 3 months period where I was exploring and seeking, where I went to India, where I went to like different places for me to just have like an environment for me to develop myself spiritually and understand myself deeper as a soul. And then the subsequent chapters of like awakening to being and transcending boundaries, and then coming back, realizing that I'm coming home to myself, homecoming within, and then realizing that this is an endless journey. It doesn't mean that I come back to homecoming within that I have nothing to break free. Like there is still like other things, breaking free, releasing and healing, exploring and seeking, and then again and again and again and again. So that made up the chapters of my book, and I organized everything that I wrote over that 1 year energetically through the different chapters. And then I self-published the whole thing. So the cover, I designed it, like everything in this book was done by me, and with support of a couple of my very good friends. And it felt like a culmination. Like culmination means like a wrapping up of that chapter of my life. I remember as I was editing this book, I will be going to different cafes in Singapore, and I'll be sitting at a cafe, and especially in the first two chapters, the breaking free and releasing and healing, I will read back at what I wrote, and I would like just cry as I was reading back, um, and it was so healing. It was so healing to read back again and like and to put it together. So this book is very much like, I feel like it was a potion that I was making. It is very energetic in nature, like the creation of this book. I only made sure that I work on it when I am, when I am feeling good and when I'm at a right like energy level. If I'm feeling like drained or if I'm feeling not in a good mood, I don't work on this book. So I only did it when I felt like it was right. And it happened I put this together in 2 months. It was so quick. Like I was just completely in the flow. I was so much in the flow that sometimes I forget that I even made this book, because it happened so easily. Like as if there was like a divine force that was guiding me to put this book together. And then in the third month, I did a book launch event, and there were 70 plus people that came, like mainly my people from my community or like friend of friends. And right after I published this book, I moved to another whole different chapter of my life, and that's when I went into breath work and I started a whole other journey. So this book really felt like it was a closing of one chapter. Yeah. So to the extent where so subsequently I changed my Chinese name. So my Chinese name is not even this anymore. So like my name is also different. So it really felt like a past life.
So this is your full name, right?
This was my full name. So
Phoebe
right now it's
Tan.
Phoebe Tan. Jia Ming is my
Oh,
yeah.
so you can change
this,
your name by yourself.
um you so because in the Chinese culture, we see the name as like a mantra. I mean, any name, like Di is a mantra, like something that people call you, right? Has it is energetic in nature. So then I realized that my previous name is not very supportive for maybe like my health or like subsequent parts of my journey. So I made the decision to change it, and it's also for me. It felt like a new start to my life. Yeah. So
It's very interesting that when you said that is an endless journey, I feel like I thought that if I keep exploring myself, there will be one point that I did it. It's like I found it, but actually, we always like growing,
yes.
and it's like we shedding, and then
Yeah.
we rebirth, and then it's it's not gonna be like one point that we reach there
Yeah. If that
because we're
point
still human
comes,
beings.
yeah. If that point comes, then that would be like your deathbed,
Yeah,
where like nothing can happen anymore. You have reached that point.
right. It makes me feel like more comfortable with my uncertainty
Yeah.
or my confusion at the moment because I was feeling so clear. I felt like, oh, I'm awakened. And it's like, everything is clear. I know what I'm gonna do. And then it didn't last long. It's like, okay, that's the end of the chapter, and now you need to face new challenges,
Yes.
new thoughts, and I think it's not like going down, but it's like you going up.
Yeah, yeah. So, like an analogy or like a symbol that I feel like is so perfect to describe this is like, we are in a spiral, right? Even though like from one point at one point like you feel like you're always at the same place, but actually you are going like you're ascending. You're not at the same spot. You might be facing sometimes you have to be experiencing certain situations, like repeated situations that keeps coming up in our life, but then we are we are not um, looking at it from the same point, right? Like we are experiencing it from a different point of view, from a higher perspective, from like an ascended version of ourselves, and all of all of this is just an opportunity for us to look at things in different ways and to experience ourselves in different ways. So I think it's very it makes life a lot more like lighthearted when we realize that life is just an experience and an experiment, right? So there is no like there is no exam to take of life. There is no um, there is no like people are not like every one of us. We all have certain lessons that we need to learn that is unique to us. We cannot compare our lessons with another person because it is not the same. It's like you're comparing an apple to a pear, right? Yes, we are fruits, but then we are like different. So I think a lot about life is just realizing that it doesn't matter what outside is. What you need to be responsible for is just this self, this being. And when you can just look within yourself and like do what is necessary to make yourself fall in love with yourself again, that is how you show up as the best version of yourself, and that is how other people can get the opportunity to experience this version of yourself as well. So the more that you work on yourself, the more you are able to be a gift to others. and and yeah, like all you need to do is love this self.
So it's like to wrap up
Yeah.
our podcast today, if you are going to give an advice for someone who is like feeling lost and feel like, okay, I know my path, but it's so uncertain. How can you apply these mindsets into everyday life that can keep them grounded and just themselves more in the long run?
I would say the most important thing is gratitude, because gratitude immediately puts you in the present moment. So I wake up every day and I would just like I wake up every day. I'm like, wow, thank you for this day. Thank you for this life. Thank you for this body for me to experience this life. Because without this body, I am not even able to exist in this physical plane, to experience, to drink coffee, to drink matcha, to meet you. If I don't have this body, nothing would have been possible, right? So I'm so grateful for a healthy body. I'm so grateful for friends, for connections, for being able to get around, for me to, yeah, there is so much to be grateful for. I'm grateful for the sun, I'm grateful for the rain, I'm grateful like everything. You can only be in the state of gratitude when you are in the present moment. So oftentimes we worry too much about like what has yet to come, or we desire too much about what has not yet happened, that we forget that we are living in the present moment, and we forget that it's only in the present moment where we can even do anything about what we want to strive for in the future. So everything is only possible when you are in the present moment, and gratitude puts you immediately in that state. So this journey of uncertainties is beautiful in itself, right? It's not easy to be navigating these uncertainties, but it is only in the uncertainties that possibilities are limitless. That there is no, you are able to create miracles. Miracles can happen because it is uncertain, because it is, you don't have like an idea of what it is about. Then you can give the spaciousness for miracles to happen. So these uncertainties that you are experiencing is something that is worth being grateful for. Right? So just keep connecting with your heart, because your mind is what is the one that is trying to control, trying to make uncertain things be certain. But your heart is like, oh, let me just go with the flow. Let me experience life in expansion. Like, so keep trying to connect with your heart and keep trusting your heart, because I have experimented with it personally and like firsthand for the past 3.5 years, and I have realized that every time I follow my heart, like my heart will never lead me astray. It's always, it always brings me to the best places. It always allows me to meet the right people, to be at the right place at the right time. Things that my mind would have never been able to put me in such places. My following my heart has always brought me to where I needed to be. So trust in yourself, trust in your connection with the divine, and keep having the courage to follow your path, because it will definitely be worth it. And the process in itself is where the learning happens, is where your growth happens. And yeah, just open yourself up to the version of yourself that you are growing into, that you are becoming, and let yourself be surprised. Yeah, don't try and plan like 5-10 years in advance, when like I would have never even imagined how I would be like at this point in life. Like just 3 years ago, I would have never imagined that I would be here today. So don't try and plan for things that, of course, there's some things that you need to plan for sure, but there are some things that just allow yourself the space for surprises to happen. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I feel like it's not that we are not responsible, but we allow uncertainty, or it's like surrender. you know your direction. It's like, okay, to follow this path, to
Yeah.
be a good person, to follow your joy, to follow your passion. But of course, we cannot control everything. So the moment that we surrender,
Yeah.
then more miracles happen.
Yeah. And it's important to understand that surrendering, it it is not about being passive. Surrendering is not being passive. Surrendering is the courage to allow yourself to to let go of control and to follow the path of least resistance. So what this path of least resistance can be like, okay, you have choice A and choice B. You feel like, you're tuning into your body as well. Like A doesn't feel right. B feels more exciting. Okay, go towards B. And that it's always like little choices in your daily life that it adds up over time, and then suddenly you get to this point where you are like, wow, looking back, my life is so different. But it's because you chose your heart, because you chose all of these little nudges of excitement along the way, so that you can enjoy the fruits right now, where you are like a lot more aligned compared to in the past, where you are like, "Oh, this is not what I want." Yeah. So the choice is very much in your hands. It might take time for you to realize it and get there, but it is going to be very worth it. Yeah.
That's nice. Okay, I have the last question.
Okay.
Can you read one page of your maybe your favorite
Oh, okay.
part of the book?
Okay. My favorite part. Um, there's too many favorites, but
You can only choose one.
okay. Actually, I
You need
like there
help.
is this one that I wrote when I was in Vietnam. It, so this picture. So I like there is this picture that is here. My friend Nhi, she took this
Oh, okay.
when
It's
we
on
were
the
in
beach.
Vũng Tàu.
Vũng Tàu.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And also, this cover
Oh
is
yes, it's
also
also
in
from
Vũng
Vũng
Tàu,
Tàu.
right?
So yes, there's a lot of connection with
Yeah.
Saigon. Okay, so this piece is called Moving On. I've been thinking about how we all just move on with life. That there are many things we will never be able to control, like others' journey and decisions, their heart and their choices, and that some people come together just to one day be separated. Or in truth, all of us do, whether it be by death or situations proof that we only really just have ourselves in life. We come alone, and naturally one day we will also go alone. Perhaps this journey of life is simply leading us back to ourselves, to realize that the power has always been within us all along, to see that we never needed anyone to complete ourselves, to see that we never needed anyone to complete us but ourselves. And standing in our truth in itself is our walk back home. It's funny how some of us live our entire lives only to realize that we have made enemies with ourselves, that life was not meant to be taken so seriously, and that it is okay to let loose and take space to simply breathe. And to realize that we have an entire universe of our inner world waiting for us to explore, that is not bounded by space or time, always patient and forgiving, with love and compassion. I've also been thinking about how life can sometimes feel so unforgiving, working through deep-rooted emotions of guilt and shame, fear and hate, and then learning that it has been us all along, that we have always held both the key and its lock, that life has mostly been about the courage to unlock these cages we've put ourselves into. And when the time comes, we will all just move on. Life really does just move on, whether we like it or not, whether we are ready for it or not.
Wow. I feel I want to cry. That's really good writing. Yeah, I can feel like it's from your heart and it goes into my heart straight. Yeah.
So this piece I wrote it in Da Nang.
Oh.
Yeah, the picture was in Vũng Tàu, but I wrote it when I was in Da Nang, where I was like looking at the beach.
Wow. So
Yeah.
nice. Okay. Thank you, Phoebe, for being present, being in Saigon, and I think you appear here this time is my manifestation. And I think like this time around, I need some affirmation. Like, okay, my path is uncertain, but it's okay. It's a beautiful journey, and we have each other in this path. So yeah, thank you for being here.
Thank you. I really appreciate our connection.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy that we are able to meet and we are
Yes.
able to connect and we are able to like have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many things more to come.
Yes, absolutely. It is the start of one podcast, but many more to come as well.
Okay. That's it for our show today. Goodbye. See you next time. Oh my god.